with Clarissa for a check at her fight. He was rapping. He got paid to do that. He wasn't coming out there for free. Okay? And so he's trying to get his name back in the spotlight.
Get ready, because what you are about to hear is the kind of story that makes people stop scrolling and lean closer to their screens. The kind that turns whispers into headlines and private moments into public debates. This is not just another celebrity rumor. This is a full-blown storm that has pulled Papoose into the center of one of the most talked about scandals of the year. For a long time, fans believed they knew who he was. A loyal partner. A strong figure in the music world. Someone who stood for commitment and respect. But according to Tasha K's latest podcast, that image is now being questioned from every angle. What she revealed didn't just raise eyebrows. It shook the internet. Tasha K claims that behind the scenes, Papoose was living a life very different from the one people saw in public. While appearing to be in a serious relationship with Clarissa Shields, he was allegedly involved in a hidden connection with someone named Tiki. The situation, as described, wasn't a simple misunderstanding or a small mistake. It was presented as a carefully managed double life, filled with private messages, secret meetings, and moments that were never meant to be seen by anyone else. When the podcast dropped, social media lit up instantly. Clips were shared. Screenshots were posted. People replayed audio and video, trying to make sense of what they were hearing and seeing. According to Tasha K, there were recordings that showed Papoose in hotel rooms, speaking softly, sharing close moments, and expressing feelings that fans thought were meant only for Clarissa. The most shocking part, for many, wasn't just the alleged relationship itself. It was the tone of the private messages that were revealed. In some of them, Papoose was described as talking about ending things with Clarissa, as if it were a simple task on a to-do list. To fans who believed in the strength of that relationship, it felt cold and calculated. Clarissa, meanwhile, was said to be completely unaware of what was happening behind her back. People close to her described her reaction as heartbreaking. Imagine trusting someone deeply, building a future in your mind, and then discovering through the internet that your relationship wasn't what you believed it was. That kind of pain doesn't stay private, especially when the whole world is watching. As the story spread, hashtags began trending. Videos of reactions popped up everywhere. Some people expressed sympathy for Clarissa. Others questioned Papoose's character. A few even criticized Tasha K for making such personal matters public. The conversation quickly grew larger than the people involved. It became a debate about loyalty, fame, and how much of a celebrity's private life should ever be exposed. Papoose's response only added more fuel to the fire. Instead of staying quiet, he spoke out. He defended himself. He pushed back against the claims. But at the same time, more clips and messages continued to circulate, keeping the story alive. Every time he addressed the situation, another wave of discussion followed. Tasha K didn't stop at just one reveal. On her podcast, she suggested that this wasn't a one-time situation. She pointed to a pattern, saying that Papoose had a history of moving from one relationship to another in ways that benefited his public image. First Remy, then Clarissa, and now Tiki. According to her, each connection came with attention, headlines, and increased visibility. Whether people believed her or not, the idea stuck. Fans began looking back at old interviews, photos, and posts, searching for signs they might have missed. Some said they could now see moments that felt different in hindsight. Others argued that people were reading too much into normal behavior. But once doubt enters the conversation, it's hard to remove. One of the most emotional parts of the story was Clarissa's public reaction. Even without long statements or dramatic speeches, her silence spoke loudly. Supporters flooded her pages with messages of encouragement. They praised her strength and told her she deserved better. For many, she became the symbol of someone who had been hurt not just by a partner, but by the way the situation played out in front of millions. Tiki, on the other hand, became a figure of intense debate. Some people blamed her for being involved. Others said the responsibility rested with Papoose alone. Every clip that included her was analyzed. Every word she said was picked apart. In a story like this, no one escapes the spotlight. The leaked materials, as described, painted a picture of two very different worlds. In public, there were smiles, interviews, and appearances that suggested stability and commitment. In private, there were messages and moments that told a different story. That contrast is what made the situation feel so dramatic to so many people. It wasn't just about a relationship ending. It was about an image being challenged. As days passed, the scandal didn't fade. Instead, it grew. Podcasts discussed it. YouTube channels made hour-long breakdowns. Comment sections turned into long debates about trust, loyalty, and whether fame changes the way people treat relationships. Some viewers said this was just another example of how celebrity culture turns love into entertainment. Others felt it was a reminder that famous people are still human, capable of making mistakes and hurting others. Tasha K's role remained controversial. To her supporters, she was seen as someone brave enough to speak up and reveal what others wanted to keep hidden. To her critics, she was accused of turning private pain into public drama. Either way, her impact was undeniable. Without her podcast, this story might have stayed behind closed doors. The emotional weight of the situation became part of the narrative itself. Clarissa's heartbreak wasn't just something people talked about. It was something they felt, especially those who had experienced betrayal in their own lives. Many commented that seeing her go through this made their own memories resurface. In that way, the story reached beyond celebrity news and touched something more personal. Papoose's public image took a serious hit. Fans who once admired him now questioned his sincerity. Some defended him, saying no one knows the full truth except the people involved. Others felt the evidence as presented spoke for itself. Every post he made, every appearance he had, was now viewed through a different lens. The situation also sparked a broader conversation about how relationships are handled in the public eye. When every move is watched, recorded, and shared, even the most personal moments can become content. Breakups become headlines. Arguments become clips. Apologies become statements. In that environment, it can be hard to separate genuine emotion from public performance. As the weeks went on, Tasha K hinted that more information might come out. That suggestion alone kept people paying attention. The idea that there could be more messages, more recordings, or more details waiting to be revealed made the story feel unfinished. Like a series that hadn't reached its final episode yet. For Clarissa, the road forward looked difficult. Healing is hard enough in private. Doing it while the world watches is something else entirely. Supporters continued to rally around her, reminding her of her strength and achievements outside of this relationship. Many hoped she would be able to move past the pain and focus on her own goals and career. For Papoose, the challenge became rebuilding trust, both with fans and in his personal life. Once an image is shaken, it takes time and consistent actions to repair it. Whether he would be able to do that remained an open question. The story of Tiki remained complicated as well. In scandals like this, people often look for someone to blame. But real-life situations are rarely simple. There are emotions, choices, and circumstances that outsiders can never fully understand. Still, public opinion tends to be loud and fast, forming judgments before all sides are heard. What made this entire situation so powerful was how quickly it spread. In the age of social media, a single clip or screenshot can travel around the world in minutes. What used to be private conversations now become viral moments. That speed leaves little room for quiet reflection or calm discussion. As people continued to talk, share, and debate, the story became more than just about Papoose, Clarissa, and Tiki. It became a symbol of how modern fame works. How quickly admiration can turn into criticism. How love can become a storyline. How personal pain can become public spectacle. Some viewers said they felt uncomfortable watching it all unfold. Others admitted they couldn't look away. That mix of empathy and curiosity is part of what keeps stories like this alive. They tap into something deeply human. The desire to understand relationships, mistakes, and the choices people make under pressure. Tasha K's podcast episode was replayed countless times. People paused at certain moments, rewound sections, and discussed specific phrases. Every detail was treated like a clue in a mystery. Even small things became topics of long discussions. As the dust continued to swirl, one thing became clear. This wasn't going to be forgotten quickly. Whether people believed every claim or not, the conversation had already changed how many viewed those involved. At its core, this story is about trust. Trust between partners. Trust between public figures and their fans. Trust in the images and narratives people present to the world. When that trust is broken, the effects ripple outward, touching far more people than just those directly involved. For some, the takeaway was simple. Celebrities, no matter how famous, are still human. They make choices, good and bad, and those choices have consequences. For others, it was a warning about putting too much faith in what is seen on screens and stages. As new days passed, the headlines slowly made room for other stories. But for those who followed this one closely, the questions lingered. What was true? What was exaggerated? What was still hidden? The internet may move on, but the people involved will carry the experience with them. Clarissa will remember the shock and the support. Papoose will remember the backlash and the scrutiny. Tiki will remember being pulled into a spotlight she may not have expected. And Tasha K will be remembered as the voice that brought it all into the open. In the end, this wasn't just a tale of a secret connection or leaked messages. It became a larger story about how quickly lives can change when private moments become public. About how fame can magnify both love and loss. About how the line between reality and image can blur until it's hard to tell which is which. As people continue to discuss, analyze, and form their own opinions, one thing remains certain. This story left a mark. It made people question, feel, and reflect. And in a world filled with endless headlines, that alone makes it unforgettable. Whether more details emerge or not, the impact of what has already been revealed will linger. It serves as a reminder to look beyond the surface, to remember that behind every viral clip and trending topic are real people dealing with real emotions. And as the conversation continues, the world will keep watching, wondering what the next chapter will bring.